Hello there, welcome back to the channel. This video is a part 2 of last week, so we are still talking groceries and meals and feeding the children. So if that is something you are interested in seeing how I do what I do, then go ahead and keep on watching. However, what you will not see are the end results of like a completed meal on a plate, obviously because we have to eat throughout the week. But if you are interested in seeing what those completed meals look like, be sure to follow me on my Instagram. I will definitely put the name in the description. It is also a link on my channel main page, and then I will go ahead and put it on the bottom of the screen if I can. I'm still learning, but that is at Shantae Jacqueline on IG. Okay, let's get on into the video. Okay, so this particular grocery trip is unplanned. I had a meeting and it got out early, and I typically go grocery shopping on Sundays, but I'm like, since I'm ahead of schedule, instead of trying to push everything into Sunday, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the grocery store now. But I switched bags, so I didn't have like my usual my meal planning book, but I did have a notebook from when I was taking notes during my meeting. So I just went ahead and created my grocery list. You can't see because I definitely parked and the sun is behind me, so my apologies for that. But so I kind of just ran through in my head. I kind of know what I have in my cabinets, which is probably sad or good. I don't know, however you want to look at that. But so last week when I went to Aldi, I had found some chicken breasts that were marked down. And then I also got some lean ground beef that was marked down. And so that's going to carry over for this week. So those are my two proteins that I'm going to be using for the week. And then my son and I's, or my kids and I's, lunch is always salad because it's kind of cheaper to make. So I don't have a whole lot of stuff to get, being that the proteins have already been purchased and on a good deal, by the way. So I'm hoping that I can get everything for about $50, so we'll see. But yeah, so since this was an impromptu trip, I didn't have a list prior to, but I did sit here and create a list. So that's the one thing that I don't ever do anymore, is I never go into the grocery store if I do not have a list, because I will actually definitely 100% without a doubt spend more than what I should be spending. So here we go. Let's get into this grocery trip. So here is my list. Those are the things that I'm making. So that is 3 actual dinner meals. So that should last me 6 days, and this is the things on my list. If you can see, most of them are here in the produce section. So this is where I should stay, and then I think I have a couple things that I need to get from other aisles, but that won't be that many. So let's get into it. Okay, so I am back home and in my kitchen. I didn't record the actual grocery shopping experience first because it's kind of boring. 2, because when I be at the grocery store, like, I'm focused, and I was trying to be in and out, and that would have taken a very long time. So anyway, so I'm back in here, and I wanted to show the 2 proteins that I'm using this week that I'm getting ready to prep. This is 3 bone-in chicken breasts that I'm going to be using, and then this is that meat, the ground beef that I told you. Look, $3 off. It was regular price 5 something, so I paid 2 something for it. Yeah. So what I have decided to do is I'm gonna do a meatloaf. So I'm gonna do the 2 pounds. So that should last me 2 days. And then 2 of the chicken breasts will be, I'm going to do pulled chicken sandwiches. That should be 2 days. And then the other chicken breast, I'm going to roast that one. And then I'm going to do like a chicken and broccoli casserole for that. So what I'm going to do now is just get my meat prepped and then go from there. So to make the pulled chicken, I'm actually going to do it in my slow cooker. And since they are bone in, I found this trick on Pinterest, because y'all know that's my jam. So you kind of get, not kind of, but you get aluminum foil. You're gonna ball it up. Alright. Put that in there. I'm probably gonna do about 4 of these. I'm gonna do one more. And essentially the whole point of putting the foil here is so that the chicken is raised, because what we want is to go for a roasted look. Yes, a roasted taste and feel. And you know, typically if you put the chicken directly on in the slow cooker, needless to say, sometimes the meat can taste a little soggy. So we're trying to avoid that here. So it's just like that, like so. Okay, so I've rinsed off my chicken breasts. I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to sit them neatly on top. Let me rip this off. And so that at this point, they are raised off of the bottom. Some of you all might be wondering, why would you do it in a slow cooker instead of just putting it in the oven or roasting it in the oven? Because the whole point of the slow cooker is to set it and forget it, so I don't have to watch it get out, right? So I have a rub, sweet heat rub. I might always get natural seasoning, and so this one doesn't have silicone dioxide in it, so it kind of gets a little clumpy and cakey. Silicone dioxide is supposed to prevent that. Since this doesn't have it, clumps. Changed my mind. I'm gonna use this one. It's brown sugar, so I'm gonna use that one instead. Same as if you were doing it in the oven or if you were roasting it on the grill. I'm just gonna generously put that on top. I'm gonna lift up the skin, put some in there. Oops. Put a lot of there. Just gonna transfer that on over to here, because that was a lot. Gonna flip it over to get the back too. So this particular one I am going to roast, not roast, but I'm going to cook in my slow cooker on high for 4 hours. The last half hour is when I am going to remove the lid and let it cook to get some of those juices out. I won't pour the sauce in until I shred the chicken and mix it all up. So that's how that one's going. Alright, so this chicken I said is what I am cooking for the chicken and broccoli casserole. So I'm going to roast that one first. I turned the oven on to 400. I'm just going to do the typical seasoning. So this is salt and pepper. And yes, I'm one of those. I always do the pepper meal. secret ingredient for all of my meals. Tony's. I don't know why that was the accent. So then I'm just gonna put this in the oven on 400 for a good half hour. I'm actually gonna cover it for 20 minutes with foil, and then the last 10 minutes I'm gonna take the foil off. All right, so the last thing I need to do as far as like prepping my proteins is I need to get started on the meatloaf. One of the kiddos went ahead and diced up my cayenne and pepper. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put in everything to get the meatloaf cracking, which are my ground meat. I got some almond milk because I don't use cow's milk. Eggs, mustard, ketchup, and then typical salt and pepper, and breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that together, and then I think I'm gonna make them in muffin tins so that the serving sizes are already there and they'll know that they get two, and then we'll really see how many days it'll last. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. All right, I'm done with the major prep. It took me, what time did I start? So it took me about 2 hours tops. I still have a couple things to do, like, so the day that we are going to eat the meatloaf, I still have to make the mashed potatoes. I didn't want to make those in advance, and then the day that we eat them and they all dry and stuff. So I will wait until the day that we are going to eat the meatloaf to make that. And then the pulled pork that goes with the green beans, they're just steamed green beans. I'll throw those in the microwave the day that we're supposed to eat them. So just aside from simple things like that, everything is prepped and ready to go. And it only took me a couple hours, and so that saves me so much time. Like I said in my last video, it saves me so much time throughout the week. It saves me so much money, because if I am tired, I don't have to decide to go get a pizza or pick up a rotisserie chicken on the way home because I'm tired. Everything is already made. So even if, say, that day I decide not to make the mashed potatoes, I can at least throw the potatoes in the oven and bam, baked potatoes. That's still a little bit of effort. So I think I got a good thing going. Hopefully you all have been able to benefit in some way, shape, or form, and that it's not too complicated. You know, I am tired because this is Sunday and I gotta go back to work tomorrow. So, but doing it early, I can recuperate. I'm about to go do some laundry. And then the rest of the day is self-care. So I'm going to read, journal, meditate, make sure I have my plan of action for next week. And then that's it until it's time to go to bed. So that's all I have for you all. Thank you again so much for tuning back in, and see you